welcome to come here in our No Name in Town gallery. So finally from Zhujiajiao we move to No Name in Town, our small gallery in downtown in Shanghai, in a very center of Shanghai, which is a Jing'an district. And finally we can say that we move from the very calm and peaceful environment of Zhujiajiao and our residency studio, where artists create them artwork, to exhibit in the city, in downtown, in our No Name in Town gallery. Well, I'm an Italian entrepreneur who came in China 8 years ago in Shanghai. I mostly work in Shanghai, but definitely I travel a lot. And I start different business, of course, during these past years. And right now I mostly focus in cultural and creativity industry, especially art and contemporary artists, which I co-founded Studio No Name as a residence and gallery with Penny Kwan. Allora, there's a funny story. We have few stories about the name itself. Allora, Studio No Name, first of all, the first story I like to say is like, because you never know who are the artists living here. So no name, no artist, every month is a new artist, so it's quite, we give this kind of enigma, who will be the next residency artist. But they have also more profound story behind, which is come from the 1959 China. It was a Chinese Revolution, and there was this group called No Name Group, No Name Artists, which is last for a century. And this is a kind of tribute to that, because it's the most longevity contemporary art movement in China. So from 59 till today, they still a quite important movement, and we give this tribute to them. And the last funny thing is like when me and Penny was chasing for a name, it's like, oh, we don't have no name, how we call it, say, oh, No Name can be very funny, let's call it Studio No Name. And then we find out that was a very interesting background behind, and we decided to call it a Studio No Name. Easy to remember, which was a quite interesting choice, because so far so good, because people recognize us quite immediately, also because of the name, which create a good branding image. I graduated from Fine Arts in set designer for cinema, theater. I was working in Italy as a scenographer, set designer, and then I moved in China in 2013, and I moved my expertise as a set designer in advertising, which was quite interesting, because as a set designer we always say you have to know a lot to don't do anything. It means we are a little bit painter, a little bit architect, a little bit director, because we work close with actors, ballerina, director, photography, set designer, architect, and so on. And all this expertise, let's say, was quite useful in China, because first of all they don't have the same background we have in Italy, but definitely there was very commercial way to approach my work, which was quite interesting. So with a little bit creativity and a little bit business side was helped me to come where I am today. Yeah, we shaped during these months, especially this past year, because the initial idea was to bring foreigner and contemporary artists from abroad, quite already established, to a new market, which is Shanghai and China. So we want to create a space which was very useful for artists, so very big. That's why we offer for each artist almost 300 square meters, fully facility with a very nice design, because it somehow is very European style. I like to say this is a Paris loft and the third floor is a New York loft. Big window, big light. But the funny thing is when you open the window, you are in the super ancient China, because from the window you can see still the roof of house of 1,000 years ago. And the water town, which is still Shanghai, but it's 45 minutes from Shanghai by subway. The subway, I imagine, was opened just last year. And Zhujiajiao is a UNESCO heritage place. So it's very historical background. They call it the Chinese Venice, which is connect also our story when we arrive here. But this contrast between our space and the historical venue, the historical city behind, I think is one of the main interesting part of this studio name. The first wave definitely was like I said before, the main idea at the beginning was to bring foreign artists. So since the border is still shut down so far, we are unable to bring these foreign artists. So we have to work with local artists. Local artists or artists who are based in China, based in Shanghai or in China in general. And the main problem was exactly this, because okay, we offer very big space, but of course we have a cost, like we are not supported by any foundation or any government. We was all managed by us, invested by ourselves. So it was really tough to ask artists to pay for a rent, even if it was lower, because artists who living and based in China already, they have their own studio, they have maybe their own house, they already rent, plus the material cost. It's become a very big investment, especially for emerging artists. So I have to figure out and face how I can approach and bring local artists and promote local artists to be here in this residency. And then finally, let's say, from the problem I find the solution, like this was the challenging time. So I figure out what I have, what can be our value was definitely art. All this is come from art, from the passion that we have, both me and Penny, from the art in our hearts also. So we think that the value of what we have is art, and use art as a commodity, as an exchange with brands. So we approach different brands at the beginning, venue brands, local brand in China, to kind of sponsor our residency artists in exchange of art and content. Because what we create here every month is not only the art piece, but it's a lot of content, which for brands today is very important. You cannot talk about your brand or your wine or your product every day, right? You have to enhance with something else. And definitely art is give you exactly this, give you value to enterprise, to brand, and to any people who are willing to listen. Yes, which is quite new. I cannot say it's quite easy too, because a brand have a lot of things you need to take care. Artists are more freedom in somehow. So, and I want to keep the same thing. So I want to keep the artist free to create, and I want to keep the brand happy to sponsor a residency artist. So you always have to facing and curating the two things. So our job as a founder and curator of this program is exactly this: try to match and choose the artist based on the brand, and the opposite side, make the artist happy to work with brands.
I started a long time ago. I was first as an employee, as an art director for a TVC company.